Next on Tech TV News, Napster says it's willing to pay to play, but will consumers stay loyal? Wall Street gets hit by inflation jitters and investors dump big-name tech stocks, but will the Fed come to the rescue? NASA is developing technology that may send you out of this world. Tech TV News starts now. Hello, I'm Victoria Racano. This is Tech TV News. Topping our show, Napster negotiators toss $1 billion offer on the table. And if you're wondering where the money is coming from, just take a look in the mirror. The file sharing service is waiting for further word from the courts as to its future. But Napster now says it wants to settle its copyright disputes, paying $150 million a year to major labels, $50 million to independents. Napster says most of the cash will come from a subscription fee. Under a basic plan, members may be charged anywhere from $2.95 to $4.95 a month for a limited number of downloads. A premium plan would cost $5.95 to $9.95 a month for unlimited transfers, and it may charge an additional fee for users who want to transfer the files to their own compact discs. First response from the record industry: this is an offer they can refuse. Napster's announcement leaves a lot of questions unanswered. The biggest one: will it work? Tech TV's Greg Lefebvre begins our team coverage.
How does a company that makes no money now convert itself into a world-class corporation with a $200 million per year royalties bill? Not easily. Napster's pricing plans of $3 to $5 per month for basic service and up to $10 for unlimited service is a giant leap of faith. Up to now, their users have been getting music for free. But it might not be so far off. Do the math. If 6% of Napster's 50-plus million users choose to pay, Napster could break even, assuming 10% choose the unlimited downloads plan at $10 and the rest do the minimum of $5 per month. And Napster partner Bertelsmann is betting on this. According to a study by WebNoise, 70% of Napster users would pay some subscription fee.
Consumers have voted with their, with their mouse clicks, if you will, and have said that they love the Napster value proposition. They love being able to get all the world's music at their fingertips anytime they want.
In Napster's favor, it's got the brand name and recognition. It's got the clout. So far, backing by music giant Bertelsmann. It's got the momentum. Tens of millions of users use and trust it.
The content owners of the music need to find a way to provide and meet that demand in a way that's reasonable to the consumers, because otherwise the consumers will find a way, another way to get at the content. If Napster were to shut down.
Or if Napster shuts off the free spigot. Technology, the spirit, and the history of the internet tell you that the moment Napster puts a meter on the music, someone else will build a road around it. Greg Lefebvre, Tech TV News.
Napster fans have mixed opinions about the settlement offer and the possibility they'll soon pay to download music from the service. Tech TV's Nikki Searles has been out on the street, in cyber cafes, and in music stores finding out what people think. Nikki.
Well, Victoria, now that Napster is talking seriously about charging users, many of the fans are starting to come around. The bottom line is that they want to see the company stay alive, and many figure, hey, for a couple of bucks or even $10 if that's what it's going to cost, it's worth it. However, naturally, there are always some who disagree.
I can't take it, y'all. I can feel the city breathing.
Pay for Napster? Some say no way. Others say, why not?
I think it should be free like the internet.
I think you ought to pay for it. You pay for everything else.
That's all it does when you play something.
Ted Barnett is a longtime Napster fan who's not too upset about hearing that he might have to pay. In fact, though he's used the service a lot, he feels that the artists deserve a fee. And for him, Napster isn't the only way he gets music. He still buys the CDs. Napster is just a way for him to figure out what songs he likes.
So you're a Napster user?
Yeah, for about probably 8 months or so. I've been using it, probably at least once a week.
And you willing to pay for it?
Yeah, I'd pay, I've thought about that. I'd probably pay as much as $9, $10 a month, something like that.
Napster said it would use the fees to pay record companies $1 billion, but the industry has yet to accept. On the one hand, what you have is Napster and its fans saying that this works and the company ought to be allowed to stay together. But on the other hand, the recording industry said as recently as yesterday that Napster should accept the court decision and move on. In reaction to the news, Hillary Rosen, president of the Recording Industry of America, said Napster has had 1 year since the filing of this lawsuit, and it is unfortunate that Napster still has not developed a legitimate system that protects the interests for both consumers and creators. But even some in the music industry say maybe this is what they're looking for.
As an artist, I really would like for people to buy my records and buy them at the store.
I think that the industry should leave Napster alone. I think Napster should exist and be able to I think people should be able to trade music freely over the internet if they want.
Do you worry it's costing you money?
We have to go.
I'm already rich. What am I supposed to do with more money?
Thanks,
I think that music should be free to everybody.
That was Nikki Searles reporting. Some of the Napster fanatics have built huge free music libraries, and it's interesting to hear them say they're willing to pay a few bucks rather than see the site shut down. But the real test will come when they have to pull out their credit cards for song files they're not used to paying for. Whether the recording industry accepts Napster's billion-dollar offer remains to be seen. IDC analyst Malcolm McLaughlin is here today to tell us what the industry's next move could mean to the world of online music. Hello, Malcolm.
Hi.
Malcolm, is it a smart business move for major labels to accept this offer from Napster?
I would really like to see them accept the offer, actually, because even if their goal is to drive Napster out of business, this may be a very profitable way to do it. I don't know if Napster would be able to sustain the payments to the industry, but even if they weren't and eventually went out of business, this is the perfect best chance the industry has to see if peer-to-peer and subscription models will work.
Well, let's say the court decides to shut Napster down tomorrow. How will this affect its relaunch as a subscription service? Will it be able to sustain its user base?
I think every day, every week, every month Napster is down makes it much harder for the company to come back, because I think people will start to explore alternatives. It's obvious that people want to get music online in downloads and peer-to-peer, and so when Napster's not there, people will start to explore other alternatives. And since there's no paid alternatives that will pay the record labels now, they're going to go to things that the record labels will ultimately like less than Napster.
Are you surprised that people who are Napster fans are willing to actually pay for the service? They say that that's fine with them?
No, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, I think some people will certainly pay. You know, the real issue, I think, is that once people start to pay, if they build on a lot of digital rights management solutions, which makes the system much harder to use and really restricts freedom of what they can do with the music in terms of taking it on portable devices and so forth, I think then you'll start to see people go away. I don't think it'll be the cost, but I think it'll be the value of what people actually get out of a legal Napster system that could drive people away.
Now, earlier you mentioned peer-to-peer services. Are people going to be driven to other services if the recording industry turns Napster down?
I think we're already seeing that happen, that the people who really want to do this are starting to explore alternatives, and there's a lot of them out there. As soon as Napster goes down, I think many, many more people who haven't been exploring those things will start to do so. And then those other networks will start to gain the critical mass of that Napster had, where you could go on Napster and any song you want, you're pretty much assured of being able to find it. Because those other networks don't have the critical mass yet, they're not as valuable, but when you drive everybody out of Napster, they very quickly get that critical mass.
Can you tell me about some of the specific services that we're talking about that are getting a boost out of this?
Well, I mean, certainly the ones that have gotten the most attention are things like Freenet and Nutella, which don't rely on a central company or server and are therefore really impossible to shut down. And I think that's really what the record labels need to be thinking about, is because if they kill Napster, I mean, who are they going to negotiate with next? The gopher whacking approach gets to be a little bit less effective when there's nobody to go after legally.
All right, now let's say if the recording industry doesn't shake hands with Napster, what sort of online distribution model do you think it should support? Are there better alternatives to MP3 downloads?
Well, I think MP3 downloads should be part of what these services offer. I think downloads have gotten a lot more bad press than they deserve because they've been such a means for piracy. But ultimately, downloads are a lot more secure than selling CDs. People kind of forget where all this music that's on Napster comes from. It comes right off of CDs. The music subscription services I would like to see would offer downloads. They offer personalized online radio. They'd offer locker services from all the different labels. I don't think these are part of the labels. I think they're independent services. And they would have a varying degree of subscription levels from, you know, as little as $2, $5, all the way up to $60 and $100, because there's a small number of consumers who will pay, you know, $500, $1,000 or more for music every year. And I think if you please all those people and you give them access to all the content in a variety of different ways, this becomes very, very profitable for the record industry.
All right, great. Thanks, Malcolm. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And are you looking for alternative sites to Napster? Coming up, Call for Help's Becky Worley gives us a rundown of other popular Napster clones and which ones may be best for you. We'll have that story just ahead. Wild swings on Wall Street today as TechTV News continues. The final numbers from the Dow and NASDAQ. Also, investors sink Sun Microsystems shares. Details in our market update just ahead. And it may be bye-bye for Beyond.com. The NASDAQ threatens to delist the stock. You're watching TechTV News.